All right, so as promised, it's the end of my day, and I'm bringing you a little part two of what I started this morning. And regarding Mr. Cuomo trying to push through a couple of things the last 2 or 3 days he's got to regarding the legislative process here in New York State. So his big thing now is there's a couple things he wants done. Some tax credits for the wealthy, again, revolving around charter schools and the privatization of education. A couple things about rent down in New York City, rather. And it bothers me because now the big carrot he's dangling out, as I said this morning, was all of a sudden there's $100 million more of funding available for education. And this is what bothers me again, because just like he did before, and like he's done his entire term in office, is he is using our children as pawns, and he's withholding the quality of education that our children are guaranteed by the Constitution of New York State. He's holding all these monies back and against him, and he's done so since day one in office. Because I remember the gap elimination, which started under Governor Patterson. One of young Andrew's first big campaign promises was, we're going to get rid of that gap elimination and the schools will have all this money back. Well, he had 4 years to do it, and he never, ever did. Even a court case determined that schools across the state were owed all this money, and it never, ever got replaced. Something in the decision, I believe, was not written correctly, so they couldn't order New York State to do it. I don't know the legalities of that. I do know we've never, ever gotten that gap money replaced, as Mr. Cuomo promised, not once, but twice. And currently, they like to say, oh, this budget is historic. It's the most money we've ever given. Well, it's the most money they've ever given under Andrew Cuomo. But it doesn't put back in anywhere near what was taken away. And his most recent budget, as a matter of fact, the one that they're saying is all historic, well, it's not. It's not. Didn't even come near to replacing what was taken away from our schools and our children. It replaced a fraction of what was taken. It actually, the money they put back in, that they're saying is so pro-education and so supportive of our children in public schools, it takes us back to about pre-2008 funding. So we have not caught up. We are years and years behind. As a matter of fact, there's a downstate district. I'll give you an example. They're 19 in the hole because of what got taken away from them, and they got $1 million back. So you do the math there. That's a great historic budget. We took 19, but we're going to give you $1 million of it back. Because, we're in it for the kids. It's all about the kids, right? So that really sticks in my craw. And now they dangle out this other $100 million that could go into schools across New York State and to help our children, and still won't touch what they took away. Now, do our schools need it? Yes. But again, why is our legislator letting him hold our children hostage with money that belongs to them? He did it during the budget process, and he blackmailed and extorted and used our children as pawns with money that they already deserve. And now he's doing it again. I'd like you to put this through and this credit through and this thing through, and but I have another $100 million. Well, like I said earlier, you mean to tell me this $100 million magically appeared? Why didn't he give that $100 million to our kids and our children before? And I guarantee you, he's probably got more there too, because the only way the man knows how to do anything is through threatening, extortion, and bribery. But I'm saying enough is enough. These are our children. They're guaranteed by New York State to be given a sound and quality public education. And here he is, again, taking money that belongs to them anyhow, and saying, well, he's using it against them, and dangling it out in front of the legislators again. So legislators, I implore you, if you're really in it for our children, you tell them that money belongs to our children anyway. No strings attached to it. Thank you very much. You're also going to add more into it, and you're going to live up to these campaign promises you made to get that gap money back. All of it. It belongs to our children. Period. End of discussion. Trust me, legislators, I think the parents will have your back on this one. And then I would go even further. His education reforms are going to be harmful to our children. His big thing about, again, more money than ever. Well, no, it's more money than ever under his administration. That's it. Again, we're at pre-2008 funding levels right now in our schools. And he wants his big rent thing done also. And he wants his big tax credit done. Well, let's see. The tax credit is going to benefit his charter schools, where it's been well documented, big campaign donations from these people who want to reform education, and they're in it for the dollar. And the rent thing, I think, is kind of funny, too, because I believe he's taken a lot of money from some of the real estate people down there, Glenwood Management, and several others. So it seems to me he's really trying to get what he can for his campaign donors, the big ones, because he's made some promises. Well, gee, Andrew, time to man up. Maybe you overstepped your boundaries. Take care of our children. All of you. Whether you're Cuomo, the legislators, I'm tired of it. You're using the children as pawns. Oh, and let's talk about another reform. The tests. Oh, we've gotten rid of high-stake testing. I don't think so. What you just did is you made your New York State assessment test more stressful and worth more than ever. So how's that going to relieve the stress from our children? Again, stop saying it's for the children, because you've never been about the children. You've been about the children only in this way, to use them as a tool to advance your own political agenda. Hey, Albany, legislators, assembly people, senators, stand up to him. Why don't you stand up for our children? Because you're supposed to be representing the people, and their people too. Otherwise, this is where public education is headed. And I will fight tooth and nail before that day comes. I am a believer in public education. Give our kids what they deserve.